Adam Caplan's in the house, NFL Insider, SiriusXM NFL Radio, Inside the Birds podcast with Jeff Mosher. And the guys just recorded the most recent episode. You'll be able to hear that on our website, 973ESPN.com, and follow at Jeff Mosher NFL, at Adam Caplan. And you'll be able to hear what those guys are pontificating about as the Eagles get ready for the Jets. But, Adam, they have a lot of questions leading into the Jets week. A team that's not very good, could be starting its third quarterback. But any quarterback might be salivating over the cornerbacks that he gets to throw against with this Eagles team. What do we know in the secondary of Philadelphia? What are they trying to do this week? Are they going to go with what they got, or are they still scrambling around?
Yeah, so Mike, I checked into it. They have not worked out any corners. That was through Tuesday, and Tuesday is generally the day that you work out players if you're going to sign a veteran to play for the next game, because you practice on a Sunday game. You always start Wednesday. That's when the real practices start. So, by the way, Sidney Jones is working today. This is a surprise. So that might play into the fact why they have not signed a veteran corner. Yes, Skandrick was signed over a week ago. He's going to play. They're going to throw him in there. He's basically a slot corner who could play outside. He used to be an outside corner earlier in his career, but being that he's in his 30s, he's more of a slot corner now. So they've got some challenges this week, and I like the way you set that up. Now, Luke Falk is the guy right now is probably going to start. Luke Falk, it's not done yet. They have to see what happens here with Darnold and the coming back from mono. He's practicing today, but he hasn't been clear for contact. When you have mono, you're very weak physically, and it's to me it's more doubtful that he'd be ready to play. So they've got some real challenges here. The Jets do, depending on who's available at quarterback, and they're not even going to announce. In fact, they haven't even committed to Luke Falk. By the way, they may do something else here. So.
Wishbone, triple option.
I don't know. Yeah, but Jeff, I don't know what they can do. I mean, other than to get Bell the football, they can get him the ball more. Mike set it up where he said, look, you obviously want to attack the Eagles' corners, but here's another thing. And Jeff and I talked about this in our podcast today. It's interesting. The Jets are one of the few teams that are actually rotating on their offensive line because they don't know who their good starters are. That is never a good sign when you start the regular season.
Yeah, I remember when the Eagles did that with Nick Cole and Max Jean Gillies at right guard.
Oh, man.
And their solution to solve that was by drafting Danny Watkins. So it really didn't get much
Danny
better.
was a nice man, I can tell you that much.
I know, it was a good guy.
That was not, boy, you're really dragging him out there. Yeah, Max Jean Gillis was a guy that was a draftee by the Eagles. It never worked out. Howard Mudd is the guy who didn't want him, if I recall correctly. But, look, the Eagles, I don't know what the point spread would be. If they don't win by more than 10, I'd be absolutely stunned.
Let's go back, if you don't mind, Adam, to the Sidney Jones comment, because this is something we talked about on Inside the Birds, and there was a misconception that I actually helped fuel yesterday when I talked about the corner's inability to run, and I mentioned Sidney Jones, and we did some homework on it, and it's really not that he can't run. It's actually worse than that. That would actually be a reason for why he's struggling so much, but I'm going to let you go ahead and kind of talk about what you've learned about why Sidney has struggled so much.
Yeah, so we must have, Jeff and I talk about, this is, by the way, this is our best show that we've done. Jeff and I dropped that today, and you can hear it at the website. So in a nutshell, I'll just give you a Cliff Notes version of it, a very small summary. So my understanding with Jones is, talking to multiple personnel sources, the problem with Jones is nothing to do with speed. It's his ability to diagnose pre-snap. What happens is, and Darby had a little of this is why Darby also struggled, and why Douglas is not struggling. Douglas is able to diagnose what the offense is trying to do in their passing game, and he's been able to, on his side of the field, cover the corner very well because he knows what they're doing. Whereas Sidney Jones is not diagnosing the play properly, he's not processing properly. What happens is he starts trailing the receiver, and the fans, and rightfully so, they go, oh, wow, he can't run anymore. Well, no, folks, it's really not. It's that he's not diagnosing the play, and he's trailing, and it looks like he's running slowly. So that's not the case. And Jeff, I think you discovered something about how fast he was running last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was an ESPN Next Gen stat yesterday that came out that showed that
because he caught somebody from behind.
Yeah, it was
that guy was running
Adams.
22 miles an hour, and they had, or something, 21 miles an hour, and Sidney Jones was running 22 miles an hour to catch him.
So he was covering Davante Adams from the start. So something, and what Adam is basically saying, he did not stick at first with Davante. He lost him. Davante's good. Sidney is struggling. Devontae got just enough of a step to catch the ball, but City did a good job of at least straight line running to track him down. But the issue is him getting open, and receivers are continuously getting open on Sydney, be it through technique, be it through head fakes, be it through whatever.
Hey, Adam, before we jump from the corners to some other things real quick, let's stick with corner. Where are we with Ramsey? Because it seemed like it was going away, and now it seems like it might be filtering back, and they obviously have some problems back there injury-wise, not just personnel-wise, but it seems like there is some injuries. Is anything new on Ramsey?
First of all, he does have a legitimate back injury, just checking into it. He wasn't working today, and my understanding has been for the last 3 weeks, and Jeff and I really discussed this today, I don't think you're going to trade him, and here's the reason why. And this goes to what I was saying the last time I was on your show about Khalil Mack. The Raiders they rolled the dice thinking that the Bears would be bad last season. They weren't. That those 2 first-round picks will not be very good. They're not as high as they thought they would be. One, obviously, they spent already. One, they have another one next year. If you're going to trade Jalen Ramsey, and they don't want to, because first of all, the Jaguars are in a 4-way tie at 2-2 in the AFC South. They really don't want to be in position to worsen their football team. He's their best player on both sides of the football. They're not going anywhere without him. They know that. That was a great win for them. I'll give them credit. On the road at Denver, they came back and won. But they're a different team without him. They know that. It would take an astronomical offer. 2-1s won't get it done unless it's a bad football team. And a bad football team that's rebuilding is probably not going to be the market for Jalen Ramsey, Mike.
All right, Adam, so we talked about the secondary issues. So obviously what comes next is the defensive line and the pass rush, right? That's, it's like peanut butter and jelly. I guess that's a good analogy there. But how much more pressure, if any, is now on the defensive line and that pass rush that continues to get brought up? Or is that a little bit overhyped? And what does Jim Schwartz do differently this week with the amount of people in that blue tent in the secondary spot?
Yeah, Ryan, I thought Schwartz called his best game. I know people are like, how could I say that? But he really did a great job. What happened was, and he went from man coverage to cover 2, which they rarely play. And that's why, by the way, that's why Maddox struggled, because they asked Devontae Maddox to do like 4 different things in the game. From a mental standpoint, there's just no way he's going to be able to overcome that. As smart as he is, it was a major challenge. Devontae did the best he could. He got better as the game progressed, but early on he really struggled because of the changes that they were making on the move, because they were so thin a corner. One thing, Ryan, we should make a point of, that they got so much pressure on Rodgers that he had to move several times. One thing I would add, this is a really good scouting note here that someone gave to me based on tape study. Their lane integrity, which means you're supposed to stay in a rush lane against a guy like Rodgers. Their lane integrity was very bad. Their pass rush was very good, actually. Against a slow quarterback like Eli Manning or someone who can't move, they probably would have had 6 to 8 sacks, Ryan. So their pressure was not the problem. It was keeping Rodgers from breaking the pocket and being able to throw the football or run for a couple yards to get a first down or whatever he was able to do. That they have to do a better job of. Now, if they can't do that against Luke Falk or whatever starts a quarterback for the Jets, they might as well lose the game, because if they can't get to Luke Falk, I don't know I couldn't even imagine what could be wrong.
All right, Adam Caplan at Caplan NFL on Twitter, Inside the Birds podcast. The guys recorded today. You can listen to it. We'll have it up on the website a little bit later on, 97.3ESPN.com. Before we let you roll here, most impressive thing you took from the Eagles' win?
Oh, their resiliency. Mike, I'm glad you asked that question, because if you ever question the heart of this football team, not that you should have, but if anyone questions how tough this team is, this was probably one of I would say, the best regular season games I've seen from an urgency standpoint. This had a playoff atmosphere, that Packer game, and despite everything that went wrong and something that went right, obviously was great, their run game, their resiliency and their never say die attitude, and it starts with the head coach, Doug Peterson. He leads, and he leads it, and they follow. It's just the mental toughness this team has is remarkable to me.
Good stuff. Adam Caplan at Caplan NFL, SiriusXM NFL Radio, as well as the Inside the Birds podcast. Thank you, pal.
Guys, thank you.